Ah, lesson 40. Here we go. After today, you will be 1/3 of the way finished with this book. 1/3 is like, I don't know, like 90%, I think, or something like that. I can't remember from my public school math how exactly that goes. All right, today is a couple of interesting things here. We're going to use 0 as a placeholder. Piece of cake today. What's the value or the place of the 0 in these numbers? Let's start with A. What's the value of that? Remember, this is our ones. So this number has 9 ones. And it has 0 what? Tens, right? If it had a 10, like a 3 there, it would be 3 times 10 or 30. It'd be 739. That's the hundreds. In this one, what's the value of the 0 there? Ones, tens, and hundreds. So there aren't any hundreds. There are just thousands, tens, and ones. This one here is in the ones place, right? There are just 5 tens, and there isn't a 1 there, like 57 or something like that. Okay, we're going to use that and do things, manipulate and multiply and divide and things like that. For example, subtract 3 minus 0.04. And we're going to stick in here 3, and we're going to be, at first you might be like, wait, minus 0, minus point, or was that 4, 0 point, 4, maybe 3, cats and dogs and weird neighborhoods, and I don't know what to do. Okay, well, it's all you need to do is just line it up and put a 0 in for a placeholder. So you can just go 3.0, right? That's the same thing as 3 and 0 tenths. This number is 4 tenths. So we're going to subtract 4 tenths from 3.0. That's it. Okay, so you can't do 4 from 0, so you borrow that, and there's the 2. There's a 10 there. 10 minus 4 is 6. Put the decimal right there to match up. 2 minus 0 is 2. Yoink! There we go. That's all there is to it. Okay, try another one. 0.2 times 0.3. Now remember last time we went that, rather than sit here and write all, you can do this point 0 and point this and try to, I don't know. If you're multiplying decimals, numbers with decimals, you can just, write a number as a number. Forget the decimals, forget the 0, and just write this as a multiplication problem. At the end of this, you need to put the decimal in the correct place, which means how many numbers are going to be behind the decimal in the answer to this? 2, right? Because there's 1 behind the decimal here. There's 1 behind the decimal there. So the total will be 2. So you can just do these. You can just go 2 times 3, 6. But you can't leave it there, obviously. So you need 2 numbers behind the decimal. Well, what you're going to need to do is put the decimal out here, and then you're going to need to put 2 numbers behind the decimal. It won't be 0.6, because 0.6 is more than 0.2 and 0.3. And you're multiplying by less than 1, so you're going to get a smaller number. 0.06 is your answer. In other words, if you had 0.42 and 0.0, I don't know, 5, or let's make it 7. Well, what you could do if you wanted to, you could just write, let's just make this 0.7. 0.7 is fine. Like that. You could just do 42 times 7 and then put the answer having 3 numbers behind the decimal point. That's it. All right. Use digits to write the decimal number 12 thousandths. 12 thousandths, all right? Well, 12 thousandths, if you ever get stuck on these and go, uh-oh, wait, is that, oh no, just start writing the, it's going to be a decimal, right? Well, this will be your tenths. Remember that? This will be your hundredths, and this will be your thousandths. So the 12 goes at the very end. We've got to have a 12 in there. And since there's nothing here, there we go. Okay. If you were to read this, this would be 0 tenths. This would be 1 100th. But this, which is the actual what you want to read, that's 12 thousandths. There you go. That's using 0 as your placeholder. Okay, let's talk circle graphs, sometimes called pie graphs. Here's a pie graph. Brett talked to people in his neighborhood about their favorite foods. He displayed the information about the number of favorite foods in a circle graph. Use the graph to answer the following questions. Okay, well, how many people talked to Brett total? What's your favorite food? Can you tell me? Okay, some people like dogs, some people like cats, birds, fish, Cute little Yorkshire Terrier puppy is just delicious. Okay. Well, how many people talked to Brett total? We're going to find that out by adding all the answers that he got. He got 8 plus 4 plus 4. That's going to be 8 plus 8, or 16. 16 plus another 16, 32. So 32 people talked to Brett total. All right. What fraction of the favorite foods are birds? Well, we know that Brett talked to 32 people total. 4 people chose birds. So 4 out of 32. Did I mention that a fraction is a... Okay. Yeah. That's 4 out of 32. Go ahead and reduce that, since 4 goes in the both of those, 1 time and then 8 times. 1/8 of the people prefer birds to the more delicious cats and dogs. Okay. What percent of the favorite foods are dogs? Well, that's 16, right? We have, instead of 4 out of 32, 16 out of 32. You probably see that that's 50%, half the people. If you didn't, just keep reducing 16 and 32 by 2s and 2s as much as you want till you get it all the way down to 1/2 or 50%. Okay, last is, what kind of nutty neighborhood is this? We'll skip that one right now. Okay, well, then we'll go to the practice set. All right, don't look. I have to, pause it, try the practice problems, and then when you're finished with all of them, come on back and we'll look at them all together. Okay, I'm assuming you paused it, and here we go. All of those, 0.2 times 0.3. Make sure you don't put 0.6 for A, all right? You need 2 numbers behind the decimal. Okay, just making sure. All right, C, you're going to need, B, you're going to need 3 numbers. Excuse me, that's a subtraction problem, my bad. 4.14 is it. C, you're going to need 3 numbers behind the decimal, which is 0.001. D, you're going to need 3 numbers behind the decimal as well. Oh, my bad. That's a subtraction problem. My bad. It's 0.08. Okay. E, you're multiplying, so you need 3 numbers behind the decimal. That'll be 0.048. Don't put 0.48. It's 0.048. 1, just a subtraction problem, 0.02. G, 0.3 times 0.3 means you need 2 numbers behind the decimal point, 0.09. H, you're going to need 4 numbers behind the decimal point because you got 2 behind the 0.12 and then 2 again behind the same 0.12, so 0.0144. Don't put 14.4 or 0.144. You need 4 numbers behind that decimal point. Okay, last 2, write the decimal number 10 and 11 thousandths. There it is. Make sure you didn't write 10.11. That's 10 and 11 hundredths. All right, if you need to, tell yourself it's 10 and something. Okay, and they want thousandths. Okay, so there's my tens, there's my hundreds, there's my thousandths. I'm just going to write the number 11 right there, 11 thousandths, and then there's nothing there. And I'm just going to write a 0 because there's nothing there. Okay, last one. What percent of the pets are cats? 8 out of 32 are cats, and these are little tabbies, and they're cute little like Siamese cats. Just delicious. I mean, they're just delicious cats. So anyway, have a nice day. Have a nice lunch. Pick the fur out of your tongue if mom serves up any. If you live in the neighborhood, fractions or division. Did I mention that fractions?